ServPRO became an SAP partner after first doing business with Sybase, well prior to SAP's acquisition of the company. In 3 years, the company rapidly developed its overall service offering, consulting, development, and support, completely around mobility solutions. I'm Chuck Miller with the SAP Ecosystem and Channels team, and today we're speaking with the leader of ServPRO, Pushpinder Bhatia, from ServPRO's Mumbai, India headquarters. He'll cover how they went from startup to what is now the equivalent of $1 million business that has no shortage of demand whatsoever. First question, why did you decide to bring Sybase solutions into your portfolio?
When we were starting up this initiative, ServPRO, the mobility was prime on our mind, and we were looking for some technology which gives us penetration into the accounts without any questions being raised about its future, its past, and anything. And when we evaluated Sybase, we found everything in the solution. It had very good coverage at the back end. It gave us connectivity with all the possible databases. And when we evaluated on the front end, it gave us connectivity with BlackBerry, with Windows, with iPhone, with anything which was going on the market at that point of time.
Well, there are a lot of different ways to engage in mobility, and you took an approach where you really were hands-on. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you got started?
By bringing people around it and going around in the market, scouting for the people who are looking around what is there happening in the mobility and what they can do with it. We picked up some of the key prospects or suspects, as we call them, and took their requirements, spent day and nights in terms of understanding their requirements, making or designing the applications around their requirements, and evolving the solutions, sitting with them by showing the value proposition what a mobility solution can bring in. Like, for example, we went in with one of the oil majors, one of the Fortune 500 companies of India. When we studied their system, what they were using, and we studied the value proposition or the economy behind their pain area, the amounts which were invested in that pain area were huge. And when we showcase the value of mobility, they jumped onto it. They said that, yes, this is what we want. Mm-hmm. And they are into the distribution of aircraft fuel to the major airliners in India. Mm-hmm. So they are present across all the airports in India. The pain area, it was a very simple thing. Whatever fuel they are delivering on the tarmac to their clients, that is the airline companies, was all recorded manually on a piece of paper with 4 carbon copies. So it was a huge task and after every delivery, almost 15 minutes were being spent to prepare that paper. So when we studied that process, we told them that this process can be mobilized, and there was almost a delay of 2 to 4 weeks was brought down to probably 1 minute to push it into the server, and then another few minutes to approve it on their base station, and maybe another few minutes to push it into the SAP.
Well, you've been in a unique position in that you had the opportunity to do business with Sybase prior to SAP acquiring the company. What was it like prior and then going into a relationship directly with SAP?
It's a very, very unique combination and a very convincing combination, because Sybase, if we look at the history, technologically they are leaders for a long time in the area of mobility, and SAP is a leader in the business solution space. So once we go to the customer, say that, hey guys, look, we are here with SAP and we have the business knowledge of SAP, and we are standing along with Sybase. So there is no convincing required to the customer that the technology is going to work or not. And business solutions are, known to the customers. So
when you started doing business with Sybase and then consequently with SAP owning Sybase, do you see more opportunities with SAP customers, or maybe that's the way it was when you first started doing business with Sybase?
See, when we started doing business with Sybase, yes, SAP customers were one of our prime targets because Sybase provided seamless integration with SAP. But because both organizations were different, there were certain challenges in terms of licensing and stuff like that. As we moved on to SAP portfolio, SAP acquiring Sybase, all those challenges have been taken care. And from the value proposition perspective, there is a huge value to the SAP customers today because there is a unified license available. And to the non-SAP customers, it gives great flexibility to bring the data onto a device as a combination of information which provides a lot of decision-making capacity to the people on the move. Customers today. So the momentum has increased multifold in the SAP community, which was not there in the Sybase era when we were only working with Sybase.
Talk to me about your customers and how they've evolved, much more savvy today about mobility, or at least they have a sense of what they want and are willing to explore?
I'll share another example with you. We have a customer, again in the construction industry, and they have a mall, and they were doing audit of the mall, as observed about say housekeeping, electrical, mechanical maintenance, or this audit was taking them a huge amount of time, and then the number of questions or the areas observation were so many that it took almost 2 days to we developed an application for doing this audit. And that way, once he has completed the audit, the iPad generated an email with all the no's which are there in the audit. So today, their turnaround time has come down to hours than days, which was earlier.
So, are you planning to, or maybe currently certifying mobility apps for sale on the SAP Store? Talk to us about why or why not.
Yes, we are in the process of getting our application certified by SAP, because it gives us a huge market to go on and sell our applications. We have seen the value of a centralized solution working for mobile applications like App Store or Android marketplace. So once our solutions are there on the SAP App Store, the coverage of the application and the exposure of the application increases multifold, and we are assured of the business anytime from anywhere, which is the approach of mobility, and that is very exciting, and that's the reason we are in the process of getting all our applications certified by SAP and putting them onto the SAP Store.
In closing, what advice do you have for other SAP partners or prospective partners who are interested in offering SAP mobility solutions?
We believe that mobility is the way to go forward, and is the future of computing. And anybody or any partner looking at mobility has to look at it from the long term as an investment in the business. And today there are customers who are excited to look at and adopt mobility. Building a practice based on the customers who are there in the vicinity and creating success stories gives a lot of boost to the new business which comes in from the existing customer, as well as from the customers looking at the existing customers who have adopted the mobility, and the business will expand like anything. We have seen this phenomena in the last 3 years, and this is an unstoppable, because mobility is going to be the way forward.
Thank you, Pushpinder, and I know you need to get back to managing your exciting growth at ServPRO. And for our audience, we thank you for joining us as well, and encourage current SAP partners to visit the Mobility tab at sappartneredge.com to learn more. And if you're not yet an SAP partner, go to sapmobileappspartnercenter.com. Mobile solutions from SAP are the obvious choice, and these are helpful online resources to answer your questions and get started on a mobile business strategy. Getting on board should be a clear choice for you from a partnering standpoint. We hope you learn more today.